3, 2, 1. Good morning.
Okay.
But hello, we finally got you here. You know, we busybodies.
We are.
We busybodies.
How long has it taken us?
Oh man, when did we first talk?
I feel like it was.
I feel like it was last year. No, not last year.
It was close to like January.
Yeah.
It was still cold.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Ben introduced us, Ben Ivy.
Yeah, the Ben.
Shout out to Ben.
The other Ben. Yeah.
The other Ben.
Is that his last name for real?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah, that's why him and I are so cool. Oops, sorry. That's why we're so cool. Like
that
in school,
crazy.
it was like we have a connection because he's Ben Ivy and I'm Ivy Scott.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he went to Morehouse and you went to
Clark.
Clark. Okay, yeah, because y'all were all in AAC.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. That's my boy.
Love it. Shout out to Ben, man.
Thank you,
A-Space. Hope he's doing good.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful community. I, for one, can say I definitely love community. Mm-hmm. That's what our palette wants to create. That's what our palette is.
Yep.
And I'm sure that's what Ivy League is too.
That's
right?
what Ivy League is.
Yeah.
That's what the Black Ivy League ecosystem is.
Love it.
I think that's what empowers us as a people is community. We are by nature and historically very tribal individuals.
Indeed.
And I love the fact that we're coming back to that. I feel like for a very long time we were separated just by the powers that be.
Yeah.
But I feel like now Black people are thriving in terms of coming together and collaborating, and then that's why you have amazing things that happen with the Gathering Spot and with Greenwood and that acquisition.
No, fact.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it right there. I mean, she said it, right? We can go home now.
Yep, done.
Sermon, benediction, everything. Amen.
We out.
We out. Yeah. So let's dial it back a little bit. Let's introduce. Right. Y'all know me. Okay. Welcome again to the Morning Melanin segment for our pilot content, and I'm just blessed to be in the presence of this wonderful Black queen right here.
Thank you.
So we're gonna let her take it away.
Sure.
Who are you?
So who am I? I'm Ivy Scott.
Yes.
I'm the founder and CEO of Ivy League Marketing, which is powered by the Black Ivy League ecosystem.
Love it.
To kind of dial back with me, I have over 13 plus years of corporate global marketing experience supporting some of the best Fortune 500 companies such as Turner Broadcasting, which is now Warner Media, Discovery Communications, as well as Marriott International, which is the largest hospitality and travel company in the globe.
Indeed.
I'm
Team Hyatt, but.
Oh, you need to get into this
Hyatt
Marriott
Rewards
life. Let me
member.
tell y'all, Marriott has over 30 30 brands. So a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah, didn't they? Was it Sheraton? They own Sheraton.
So
too?
they
Hilton,
actually acquired all of SPG. So the W, St. Regis,
Really?
yeah, all of that is under Marriott
Jesus.
umbrella. Yeah.
Not that the Amazon of hotels.
Yeah, they
buying
are.
people.
Yeah, they are. They really are the GOAT.
Wow. Okay.
I was furloughed during the pandemic.
The panorama.
Yeah, all of
The
that.
Panda
You know what I'm saying?
Express, yeah.
But it was the best thing that could have happened.
Yeah.
Because as a result, I started doing contract work, supporting small Black-owned businesses here in Atlanta, and while doing that, shout out to Effect Fitness. They were my first clients, and I just appreciate them so much. While I was there working, the owner, Dooley, he has that iconic photo of the members of Black Wall Street, and I kept looking at the photo.
Yes.
And that was the same time that everything was happening with George Floyd.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, I gotta do more. And at first I wanted to replicate that photo. And then I was like, you know what? No, we got to do more than that. I was like, I want to be able to not only have my marketing agency, but what I was finding is that a lot of small Black-owned businesses, they didn't have the credibility. They did not have the reputation. They didn't have the access. And what was happening is that people were taking advantage of them.
Yes.
So
Exactly.
I wanted to create a space where we have trusted partners and vendors, and that we can help to circulate that Black dollar. And so that's what the Black Ivy League ecosystem is. It powers all of my small Black-owned businesses that I represent.
Love it.
Yeah.
No, I love it. It's real crazy how like all of these. First of all, the unfortunate incident of George Floyd served as a catalyst for so many like positive things that came out of it, right? Like all of these businesses. I mean, I believe, well, the gathering spot happened, the catalyst for that was, man, I can't remember the name.
Was it Trayvon Martin?
It was either Trayvon or, I believe it was Trayvon.
I think it was Trayvon because I remember when the gathering spot started.
Yeah.
It was around like 2015.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because I was still in college. I actually remember that day. It was crazy. So, anyways, it's just real. It's interesting to see that, and like, you know, of course these are very unfortunate incidents, and like people get riled up. Like I was in the streets protesting, like for sure. I went to Kennesaw State. I was protesting in Kennesaw. I was protesting in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And that's kind of how I birthed, you know, my ecosystem as well.
Yeah.
And like you see those catalysts start to just create these amazing communities everywhere, and there's just no shortage of opportunity there, because you can have a community here that specializes in this and X, right? And then a community over there that specializes in Y. I mean, over here that specializes in Z.
Yep.
You put those together, we'll have a whole alphabet worth of, you know, ecosystems, communities, and stuff like that. Like it's just awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, you know,
awesome.
A lot of times this country is that crab in a barrel mentality.
Yeah.
But the reality is that there literally is enough in the universe for all of us. So to your point, in terms of we need as many of these ecosystems as possible.
Absolutely.
And then from there we all come together to make a bigger, larger impact. So I'm excited to see how, you know, we all were able to take these unfortunate situations and blossom something so beautiful. And it made those individuals' deaths be, it was almost worthy. You know, it was almost like a sacrificial lamb, if you will, that we were able to take that. And I think our people are like that in general, right? We are always taking a bad situation and seeing the good in it.
Down.
Yeah.
Absolutely. See, if you're all about community, that's the message I try to preach all the time with our palette, is community over everything.
Yeah.
Like literally over everything, because if you want to go fast, like you can go alone, that's cool. But if you want to go far, you go together.
Love it.
Like honestly. And so like those are the two messages I always try to preach, no matter what I do, no matter who I'm talking to, right? No matter who I'm working with. Just changing our rhetoric too, like instead of like you're not working for somebody, you're working with somebody, right? Like I can see us working with each other. Right. And that way that eliminates that power complex of like, oh, you know, I'm over you, or like I say what to do. No. Like you're an expert in your field of work, I'm an expert in my field of work, and we're bringing that together. Right. And that's the beauty of it. That's the fun part.
You know, and I love that, like, I feel like, you know, when you think about words, right?
Yeah,
and
they mean things.
They mean things. And so when you break down, like, that's my boss. Yeah. That's my manager. Like, that's why even sometimes I struggle with, oh, those are my clients. I don't really like to call them my clients. I'm more so like, I'm a part of your team. We're partners. So like when you go to my website, you see these are our partners. Those are people who are also technically, by definition, I guess you can say, my clients. But I think you're right. Like, everybody brings something to the table. Absolutely. And I despise kind of like the structure that we have now, because people are in these managerial roles and they feel like they run you. And then that stagnates your creativity. It stagnates how you blossom, because you feel like you have this person who's like hovering over you. And that's not the case. Like we all should have that empowerment to grow and feel like we bring something to the table, and we are not being micromanaged, if you will.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. We don't like micromanagers.
Yeah.
You good? Come on.
Just a few more minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
No, shout out to our man here, man, serving the food.
Shout out. What's your name, brother?
Jay.
Jay. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Jay.
No problem.
This coffee was nice and black.
Oh, yeah.
Gave me the blackest of the black.
Man.
Yeah.
But yeah, speaking of Ivy League, right? Like what is it? Right? We talked about who you are. Now let's talk about what Ivy League is, like those nuts and bolts. Like what is it? Like how does it work?
So Ivy League is a boutique marketing agency based here in great Atlanta, Georgia. I moved back 2 years ago, so I'm still like on a high of moving back.
Where'd you move from?
I moved back I was in DC for 8 years.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay.
So shout out to the DMV, but Atlanta is definitely my second home. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas.
Got you.
Our agency, we provide small Black-owned and minority-owned businesses. I don't want us to feel like it's just Black-owned, but we do prioritize Black because as a minority, we have been the ones that have, unfortunately, not had the access that other ethnicities, other races have had. So that's why we focus on small Black-owned businesses. So we offer business development, marketing strategy, social media, production. So the whole point is that a lot of business owners, and this is across the board, they're great at their respective craft.
Yeah.
But when it comes to building their brand, sophisticating their brand, and really elevating it to that next kind of like corporate level, if you will, that's what Ivy League brings in. So we're bringing in structure, we're bringing in strategy. We also are finessing business plans as well as when it comes to creative, making sure that we have a consistent suite of assets. And so when I say assets, a lot of small businesses don't have a style guide.
Yes.
It's the small things.
Very small things.
I'm a very detail-oriented individual, so making sure that you have a style guide, you have your mission, your value statement, things like that. Ensuring that all of your marketing channels are, one, you have them, and then two, they're consistent. So when we talk about marketing channels, when it comes to your own channels, that's your website, that's your email, that's SMS, that's social media. And then once we secure that, we ensure that then, okay, now that your paid media is working for you, because we're looking at the analytics and identifying what consumers, who your target audience is. And then furthermore, once you have that strong presence, you're then able to obtain earned media, which is public, any sort of PR or things that you don't have to pay for, that people are just kind of like your platform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you have
paid media. Okay, so one more time. You have paid media, which is like things that you.
So let's start at the top. You have three. So you have your own channel. So you have own media, which are the things that you own.
Gotcha.
Sorry, you own. Those are things that you control.
Right.
Then you have paid media.
Okay.
That's what you actually pay for in terms of ads. You see those sponsorship ads. Those are things that you pay for. Then you have earned. That's when like a publication will mention you. You didn't have to pay for it. You didn't contact them. They just love your product, and so now you're getting that free media from them.
No, I love it.
Yeah.
No, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
That's dope. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because I knew that, but like never in that, explained that way.
Yeah. So that's what I like to do is I left my corporate job in order to take all of that experience. I'm kind of like a unicorn. So I used to work at like a think tank at Turner called Network Strategy. So we helped to develop ideas. So we gave them 90-day action plans to see their idea into fruition. So I took those principles of working at that think tank, as well as doing marketing at agencies, as well as being a social community manager at Travel Channel, and I push that all into my clients.
Got you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, what else are skills for, right? You apply them.
Yeah. Yep.
We love skill sets.
This episode is brought to you by the Black to School Project. Please click the link in the bio and donate today. Let's drive social change together.
So I assume you've kind of always been in the media marketing industry?
Yeah, so it's actually been longer than 13 years.
Okay.
My experience with media actually started when I was in high school. So I went to a magnet school where I focused on communications, and I was interning at Fox Sports when I was like 18. So I was actually started behind the camera, doing production work, editing, and then ultimately I thought I wanted to be an anchor. So I was like, I'm gonna work at CNN, and I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be on the news desk, right?
Shit, all that.
Yeah, but then I was like, nah. I was given the opportunity to either work at CNN as a VJ or at Turner as a T3. So those were programs for recent graduates.
Okay.
And
what's a VJ?
So a VJ, you were basically like a mini reporter, producer, a content individual at CNN. So you're running cameras, you're looking at scripts.
Okay.
It's a great program. And then over at Turner on the entertainment side, the T3, it's a paid internship.
Gotcha.
And so they picked at that time about 10 to 15 recent graduates to come and work at Turner. It was a very selective program, but anyways, I was selected, and I decided to do that route because it was more.
Flex.
Yeah, just a
like, right,
you know what I'm saying? But it was a good opportunity because I was like, I really want to be on the marketing side, on the business side, because if I'm on that side of the house, I have more control over what people are seeing on camera.
Yeah, no, of course.
And it's crazy because that was, oh my God, like almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that we still are fighting for diversity, equity, and inclusion in terms of who's behind the camera.
Yes.
So, so yeah, it's been a long road for me in terms of marketing and business development. Never thought that I was going to be an entrepreneur. Always thought I was a super corporate girl.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I mean, we all, I mean, our purpose never really like asks permission.
Yeah.
It just kind of is like, this is what you do
I
now.
like that.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
never really asks permission. It's like, this is who you are. Just had to make sure you were ready.
Yeah.
And you can go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you.
Nah, you good, man. We having just a casual conversation, man. We just chopping it up.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
appreciate you. I love it.
Did you
Yep.
get grits or potatoes?
I got grits.
Okay. I
Yeah.
should have got
Did you get
grits.
Out the gate, what does it take to run your business?
Oh, man.
Costs, expenses, personnel, like what investments do you have to make?
So one, I would say, for me personally, it was important that I had my personal finances together.
Right.
So I betted on myself. Thus, I invested in myself. So because I have been working in corporate America so long, I did have a nice nest egg with my 401k. Additionally, I had a nice savings. Some people say don't do that. It worked for me. So
Right.
that's one thing I would say, like, you have to figure out what works best for you. Now,
Yeah,
definitely don't
yeah.
go broke.
Right.
Do
right.
not go broke. You know, I had really nice established credit. So because of that, I was able to obtain business credit early. And what I found is that there are small businesses now that have been running for 3 years, but they're having a hard time getting business credit.
Yeah.
I had no sort of like proof of concept at all, and I was able to get my business credit immediately when I applied for that line. So I do have a line of credit with Bank of America right now. I'm in the process of getting one with Chase. And then when it
Say,
comes,
there you go. Chase what matters. Chase
yep,
what matters.
make sure, I would say in the beginning, and because I'm backtracking now, bookkeeping is so important.
Oh, absolutely.
So
Let's
get
talk
you,
about that.
yeah,
'Cause-
get you a system.
Yes.
Systems are important. So whether that's Square
Yep.
or QuickBooks. So
Yep.
I actually started with Square because it was very intuitive
And it's free.
and it's free.
I tell people all the time, it's free.
Yeah, you know, you just got your small little fee. You know, when
Your processing
someone
fees,
pays your
yeah.
processing fee, that's it. I'm now going to transition over to QuickBooks though, because they have the TurboTax
Yeah, the
integration.
Intuit.
Yeah, the
suite.
Intuit. Yeah,
They own all that stuff now. Yeah.
right. So
And I think MailChimp actually is part of that as
I
well.
think so as well.
Back because I remember going back to like having CRMs and like your marketing tools and stuff like that. Yeah. So you have the MailChimp, you have Intuit. We good. You want to take your food? Yeah, MailChimp, QuickBooks, TurboTax, all that stuff. But yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
yeah. So you know, to that point, just making sure that so that's one. Making sure you have your bookkeeping in
Yes,
order.
yes.
Well, actually, let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Get your LLC.
Yes. Yes.
Get your LLC. If you have the finances, save to get your trademark.
Yes.
That's important. Additionally, make sure that you don't go broke. Having your business. So figure out what your hustle is. Try to figure out some sort of way to have passive income, having some sort of cash flow coming in, so that because I mean, everyone has their struggle story. I have a 2-year-old, so I cannot afford to have a struggle story where I'm sleeping in my car. I have a 2-year-old that I have to feed, and that's that on that.
Exactly.
Look for grants. So I've been in the process of looking for grants. But as we talked about, the bookkeeping piece. And when it comes to bookkeeping, making sure that you are, if you have a program like a Square or QuickBooks, all of that stuff can be automated. So, you know, when you are an entrepreneur, your teams are very lean. A lot of times it's just a team of one. So you got to figure out ways to create automations. Yeah, right.
Shout out to the solopreneurs of the world.
Right here, right? I'm just now starting to get like a team. And don't get me wrong, I've had interns who've been amazing, but ultimately I'm a team of one. And now I have other people that I kind of like contract work out to. But then also having project management tools like Asana.
I've heard of Asana.
Trello's
good
great.
too.
Yeah, I've used that before. I love Asana in terms of you can have different views, right?
Okay.
So if you want the board kind of look, you can, or if you want to have a Gantt chart look, you can. It's just different ways of viewing, and so it works really well. I like that suite. I think another thing is also like when you are a solopreneur, if you will, I like that, you have to figure out how to do things. So our motto at Clark Atlanta University is find a way or make one.
Hey.
And I have become a designer. I have mastered Canva. So do not think that you have to be this kind of mastermind designer to get your creative done. So until you can offset that to someone else, get on Canva and you will be surprised at the templates that you will find. Yes. There are so many free tools also on YouTube in terms of learning how to do certain things and investing in yourself. So, both of our organizations are based around helping our community, pouring into so many different brands to help to elevate them. But like I related to parenting, if you don't fill your cup up, you can't serve anyone. You know what I'm saying? You have to. So with that being said, is about a year into my business, I took a 2-month sabbatical hiatus. Just to focus on my brand, make sure that my website was attuned, make sure that I had my own style guide. So everything that I was practicing and pouring into my brands that I was representing, I had to do it for myself. So just making sure that you carve out that time so that you have that longevity with your business.
Man, oh my goodness. We can wrap it up. No, like seriously, like that gets me fired up because I try to preach that so much. And I mean, I'm part of a slightly younger generation, right? So like sub-millennials is what I call it.
Okay, so let's put it, okay, I'm just gonna be honest. How old are you?
I'm 25.
You're 25.
I'm 26 in August.
Okay. Virgo?
Leo.
Ooh, I would
I'm
never.
a week before Virgo season.
Okay, cause I'm gonna be transparent. I'm 37. So you were talking about generation. So I wanted just to put that out there for your audience, the age differentiation, because that's another thing. There's power in when you think about community. There is. If you dig down deep in that, it's like being able to share information and knowledge through generational and ages, but also in sex and lifestyle, right? So as a man, as a woman, like how can we work together? So I love this kind of platform that we have, but I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I just wanted to
you
put
sure
that
you're not
out
like
there.
27?
I know, right? Sometimes I feel that way. I surprise myself.
I always try to preach that because my demographic is the demographic of like just getting out of college or just finishing or like first year, second year in my full-time job range, right? That's mainly my demographic. And for my friend circles who are starting businesses, they still doing the Cash App and the Zelle. And I'm like, that's cool, but you got to level up. Like you have to. Like I have friends right now that have LLCs and they're still doing they literally, she told me, and I told her this the other day. She's told me straight up, she was like, I'm just gonna start taking cash. I said, girl, what? Like you gonna start taking just physical bills? For why? First of all, why would you want to do that?
Yeah.
Like why? We live in the world where you can literally pay with your phone.
Yeah.
And you're going to go out of your way to take physical dollar bills from everybody. She has a cupcake business.
Okay.
I'm like, sis, no.
I mean, if she want to do that from like, that's dangerous.
It is
to have so much cash and then people knowing that you have a cash
right,
on.
Because in 3+ years, let's say your cupcake business gets big, you have a storefront now, and you have to use a POS system, and Uncle Sam comes knocking at your door trying to account for this 3+ years worth of undocumented expenses and transactions. What are you gonna do?
Right.
Like we might as well start now with the habits and form the good business habits, get the QuickBooks, get the bookkeeping, build the business credit, build your personal credit.
Yes.
Do all of those things, because by the time you get to that 5-year benchmark, because we know that statistically a lot of businesses don't even make it to 5 years.
Yeah.
So that 5-year like kind of benchmark is like, do all that stuff already. Like have all that stuff checked off. Like, so that's just my rant.
No, you have, no, that's so important.
It's,
like, I'm telling you, like if you don't, because the thing is, you don't know what God has for you, right? And so when you're thinking small, you're like, oh, I'm not going to establish my business credit. And like now I'm seeing businesses like they are literally working with the banks and coming up with strategies in order to get a line of credit in order to scale. Like it's real. So with her, it's like she doesn't know that she could be the next Cammy Cakes, and she can't even get a line of credit to buy new machines in order to make 1,000 cupcakes a day or whatever, right? So that's so smart that you know that at your age. Because personally, when I was your age, not to sound like a grandmama, but you know, entrepreneurship was not popular. It wasn't something that was promoted. It wasn't something that was really celebrated. We were taught to go into corporate America and be a lifer, if you will. And I think, you know, our generation was the ones who kind of stopped that. And you all are thriving in that space of like, I might do corporate, but you know what? There's a huge world of entrepreneurship that I can tap into.
Exactly. That caters to the skill sets I have. I mean, I still remember like, and of course, I love my mom to death, right? But like when I was in school, every time I had an internship almost every year in college, starting like sophomore year. And of course that extended my graduation date. And like every time I'd be going to Michigan, I did 2 tours in Michigan, worked for GM. I work over here. I got offers with Tesla. I got places in Florida, And my mom would be like, why aren't you in school taking classes? I was like, Mom, I'm trying to get some work experience. Like, classes can wait. Respectfully, classes can wait.
For real,
Because by the time I walk across that stage, they're looking like, it's crazy because people talk, I'm ranting again. People talk about GPA so much in school and how valuable it is. It damn near means nothing.
Zero.
When you walk across the stage because they're looking at your resume. And so I busted my ass to have a very, very polished resume. And so I can walk to a company or companies and be like, yes, I've worked here, here, and here. I know this, and that person. I know this plant director. I worked in manufacturing. I've worked in IT. I've worked in quality. Just all these random stuff, just kind of putting feelers out there. Like, I'm young. I'm 19, 20, 21. So when I have these mix of things, companies are literally like drooling by the time I'm graduating.
Yeah, and it's like you have, not only are you kind of unicorn when it comes to skill set, but you have those interpersonal skills. So it's like if you were an individual, and this is no shade to, you know, the person who's head down in the books all day, if that's all you know, it's a struggle to go into corporate America or to even run a team because you don't have the skills of working with people, how to communicate with them, how to collaborate with them. And those things are crucial in order to grow, in order to be, you know, to get a job, even have the confidence to start your own business. So I think that was so smart of you to know like the importance of getting that experience because a lot of times, it's weird. It's like this double-edged sword because you're trying to get a job and they're like, but you need X amount of work experience or these X amount of skills. And you're like, well, how do you get that if you don't give me a chance, right? So it's good that you were able to get that in college.
And definitely leveraging what you have on campus. I mean, there's student organizations and, you know, just all the resources you have. It's funny that one of my coworkers at work, he got a new job. He switched to a different company. And we were talking about it. He was like, yeah, I'm a program manager now. Mind you, he left an engineering position to be a leadership position. He was telling me how like it's actually easier to improve your technical track after the fact, like retrospectively, as opposed to trying to build like your leadership into personal track. So he's moving up on corporate ladders and moving up being like a program manager or like an engineering team lead. And he may not have the technical skills set yet. But it's easier because they're just going to throw him in a school or a certification, a course, or whatever. But they know that certain soft skills become so intrinsic and so invaluable. Math is math at the end of the day. Right? So like if you need to learn the math or you need to learn the concept or you need to learn analytics or you need to learn Excel or you need to learn whatever, programming, whatever the case may be, you can do that. Go do the professional development. Great. Go do the extra continuing education stuff, whatever. But the interpersonal skills, you don't really teach that in a classroom, at least in my opinion. You have to experience that.
You do.
You have to experience what networking looks like. You have to experience what talking to people looks like, you know, knowing when to listen and knowing when to talk, right? All of that. But and rent and
but that goes back to like, you know, I think, you know, bringing it back to our businesses, right? So we have to have, there's always the yin to the yang. So it's like, even though we're, you know, rah entrepreneurship, we need people of color. We need women in corporate America just as much as we need them as entrepreneurs, because that's how we work together, right? There's not one bad way of thinking. We just need to have balance in both, right? Because then that's how we are able to touch the masses. That's how we're able to make change, and how I can pick up a phone and call someone that I used to work in corporate America who could potentially give a sponsorship to one of my small businesses. So I'm a huge proponent of both. And I think that there are just so many great lessons in all of it. As you mentioned, in corporate America, you have leverage to different professional development courses that will help you. So it's not just about balance and duality and having that. And even with that duality, one thing that I practice with Ivy League, part of the process when I bring on a new client is I do a SWOT analysis with them.
Yeah, come on, SWOT.
So for those who don't know what a SWOT is,
talk about it.
Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Not only do I do this for my businesses, you should do this as a self-assessment as well. But it's a great way to get like a good look at the health of your business.
Love it.
So when you see your strengths, like, oh my God, like that then turns into your opportunities, and then that brings in more business, that expansion. It also builds out partnership opportunities. There's so many things that you can learn from, or you can gain rather, from looking at those strengths and then turning it over into what the opportunities are to help grow your businesses. But you can't be on one side of the fence and just like, drinking your own Kool-Aid. You also have to be honest with yourself about, where am I weak?
Yeah.
And then, and sometimes when you're weak doesn't mean you have to do anything to fix it. It's just that maybe we need to, if you make candles and you think that you want to venture into making rugs, well, maybe you don't need to do rugs because your sweet spot is candles, and you need to focus just on like aromatherapy, right?
Exactly.
And then with the threats, you need to be mindful of the threats, because that could be anything from, not having your LLC or not having a trademark, and then someone being able to come in and take over your business. So I said that all to say, when I do these SWOTs, it becomes almost like a life coaching session, because when I'm building someone's brand, I immerse myself in who they are, why they built that brand. You want me to pause?
No, I ain't good.
Okay. Why they built that brand, why it's important. And so when with the life coaching, that then helps you to understand where your stresses are. Because a lot of the times businesses, to your point, they don't last 5 years because of burnout.
Yep.
Right? They're stressed, and because they're not pouring into their wellness.
Exactly.
So that's something that I always like to preach to, not even preach, but practice with my clients and my partners, so that we can have longevity, so that we're not our own worst enemy because we haven't been pouring into ourselves.
So I've always wondered, what's the difference between weaknesses and threats, like in the SWOT analysis?
Yeah.
Like, how do you really?
So,
and this is actually the gem drop moment, by the way. 'Cause I was just gonna ask you, like, touch on the importance of like certain marketing tactics and like all that. So we hear it now, right? SWOT analysis, like how do you differentiate?
So for me, when I look at a weakness versus a threat, a threat is something that could be detrimental to your business, meaning that, like for instance, if you don't have that trademark, that's not a weakness, that's a threat, because if you don't have that trademark and then someone comes in and they get it, then you either one have to buy it for them, or they say, no, this is my business now, right? A threat could be that you don't have enough capital.
Okay.
And if you don't have enough capital then to sustain you for the next 6 months, then your business is at risk of closing, right? A weakness is, we have 3 people on our team and none of them are experienced, or they all come in late. And so as a result, the productivity is slowing down how we're churning out our respective products.
Okay.
So the weaknesses is something that you can fix. It's something that is an area of, it's like a crack. Whereas like a crack in the wall, you got a new house, right?
Yeah.
So a weakness is, okay, I got a little crack in the wall, I just can put a little patch it up, right? But the threat is if there's a crack in that foundation, and ultimately your house could, shift so much that your foundation is broken, and you have to come in and do there might be work that you can't, it's irreversible work, or they have to come in, you got to spend millions. That's the difference between.
Or they didn't survey the land properly and your house sinking.
Exactly, right? You didn't do the inspection, things like that. Yep.
Told y'all we busybodies. She got to get on the road.
I do. Oh, look, shout out. I just wanted to make sure. I got my new shirts.
Here we go. How do you integrate or work in Black businesses into your workflow with like Ivy League? And all that stuff?
Well, the foundation of Ivy League is Black business. Like that is the heartbeat. That is the everything.
Okay.
Like I mentioned before, we prioritize Black business and everything that we do. And I know what I mentioned earlier, I was like, my first client was Effect Fitness, but technically my first, I guess you could say, client was Play Pits.
Yes.
Right. So shout out to Play Pits,
Shout out to
CEO
Play Pits.
and the co-founder Chantel Powell, the entire Powell family, Keon, Cam, Katie, Kiana, my folk.
Boom.
Yes. You
Put
see
it up
that Play
there.
Pits? You gotta put your hand on the top of it so you can
Yeah.
the back of it.
Yep. You got to recognize the hand. That camera actually has much better autofocus. So I'm gonna put over here.
A Play Pits of Chantel Powell, who is my little sister, first and foremost. I
Really?
pledged
Like your
her.
actual official?
Well, I pledged her.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah,
Okay,
so we
cool,
are
cool,
members
cool.
of Alpha Kappa Alpha, Alpha Pi chapter.
Shout
and
out,
I am literally her big sister, ADP of her line.
Yeah.
But anyways, we lived in Maryland together.
Okay.
And I was there when she came up with the Play Pits idea.
That's
so
dope.
to be there day one with her.
Yeah.
And so at the time I was working at Marriott, or maybe even Travel Channel, and I was giving her just branding tips, marketing tips, and I basically did her first. I didn't do her website, but I did the first UAT that she ever did. A UAT is a user acceptance test. So just FYI, whenever
Right.
you all are launching any new website or app, make sure that your developer has a UAT in the process. Otherwise, it's going to make for a really poor user experience once you go live. So that's another gem.
So what? Okay, so user acceptance test, is that the same as a stress test? Because I've heard a stress test where like you test like how like an app and how well. Okay.
Same thing.
So okay, UAT stress test. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I was just trying to put together.
Yeah. So perfect. So I mentioned all of that is that seeing her, go from just cooking this stuff in her kitchen to now having a warehouse, and me at first just helping out and volunteering to now I'm the director of marketing and on the trajectory of being the CMO. And so with that being said, it's like when it comes to Black business, so yes, I support Play Pits and I'm the director of marketing, but as a result, I'm then able to, partner Play Pits with Black owned printing companies. My boy Blue, he owns a printing company where they do shirts and vinyls and cups and they do so much stuff when it comes to videographers, as well as experiences. So we just brokered a deal with the Boys and Girls Club, where the Boys and Girls Club of America here in Atlanta is majority Black children. So being able to pour into those kids. But again, making those relationships, it's similar to the gathering spot, bringing us together. And then just like with Ivy League, I have events that I curate, and in these events, I ensure that it has the right people there. So it's networking with a purpose. So you're not just there to schmooze and talk about what you've done and tout about all your accomplishments, but actually have conversations with people that you can walk away with, a follow-up meeting, a call to action, right? Even down to the venue. So another shout out to my boy Charles Hill. He just opened up we gotta go there.
Yeah, gotta talk to Charles.
Charles is doing some amazing things over in the Atlanta University Center. His family, they not only have student housing that they own on the grounds over there in Southwest Atlanta, but they just recently opened a lounge right on the promenade across from the library.
Season 2, we are leveling up. We have so much in store for y'all. Just click the link in the bio. Make sure you like, share, comment. Make sure you donate. Black to School is coming to you. Please donate. The link is in the bio. You won't regret it. Let's go.
Some people might at first be like, what, why?
Right.
That is such a cool idea. It takes you back to kind of like Saved by the Bell, where they all had their kind of place where they could go and hang out and kick it, and it was safe and it was fun. That's what the Hill Social is. It's a place for not only the students to go and have a kickback, and it's a safe spot, and it's right on campus, but then as alums, we can go back and
have
do
events.
Events, have our spirits, and be able to collaborate. That's that going back generationally, having those conversations. So
old heads gotta talk to the new ones,
and vice versa, because we got so much to learn from y'all.
Absolutely.
It keeps us young, keep y'all wise.
Absolutely. I truly believe everybody can learn from everybody.
So with that being said, with the Ivy League, I would definitely say check out our website, www.Black-Ivy League, that's IVY.
Check them out.
So not IVY, I'm IVY, but with the Black Ivy League, here it is right here, IV and then League. But check us out. We are still accepting clients. Additionally, if you are an individual who does have you're a vendor of some sort, or you have some sort of service, reach out to us, because we're always looking for photographers, we're always looking for graphic designers, you name it. We do a lot with our capabilities, and so if you feel like that there's a service that you can provide to our clients, let's have a conversation, let's have coffee.
We're definitely gonna talk.
Yeah.
I mean, because I do that work too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you up.
And
I know you mentioned play pits you said they want to be synonymous with like kids sports.
Yes. So Play Pits, for those who don't know, is an all-natural deodorant line that was created because my nephew was smelling like a man. He was only 7 years old. He got into his mom's car and she's like, "Oh my God, you smell terrible," right? And then when she started looking for deodorant, she found that one, there was nothing fun for kids on the market, and then two, she didn't want to put harmful chemicals in her stuff,
and
all those things, right? So she was like, you know what? As a kid, her grandmother used some baking soda underneath her arm, so she went to the kitchen and made a concoction, put it on him, and Cam, my nephew, went to school, told everyone about it, and he came home, he said, "Mom, you need to make this for everyone." And she was like, "I'm not doing that." And he's like, "No, Mommy, you need to make it for everyone." And that's when it was like the voice of God spoke to her, and when he said everyone, she knew she needed to literally make that for everyone. So that was 4 years ago. And now here it is, fast forward, it's a 7-digit revenue generating brand. It's we recently launched in 365 Targets.
Yep, they're at Target.
In March. Yes.
Check them out.
We're at selective Targets. It is a thriving business. She has also expanded to seasonally. She'll do body scrubs, butters, detox boxes. And one thing that we are a huge proponent on, as you mentioned, is educating youth and supporting youth in activity. So one, educating our kids on the importance of ingredients. What you put into your body is what you are, and not only from what you eat, but just what you actually put on your body. There's so many toxins in body soaps and deodorants and lotions, and you're not aware of it. So be aware of what those ingredients are. And then two, when it comes to activity and play, one, we all need to encourage play, even at our age. But then two, when it comes to activity, kids will get a complex when they're going through puberty, which then can stagnate them and cause them not to want to go outside and play. As well as in this digital world, people are on their phones so much. We really need to continue to encourage our kids to go outside and be active so that they're healthy, so that they're getting that natural vitamin D, which is a huge proponent for happiness and how you feel and development. And then, like we talked about earlier, the personal skills that you don't get from being on a gadget, working with people, conflict resolution,
playing with people, like running, whatever kids do. You know?
I don't think exactly.
I remember like when I was younger. I mean, I was definitely an outside kid. Like, I was the type of kid. I came home like after, like the street lights was like the alarm clock. Like you better come home. The street lights come on. I would come home late. I didn't care because I was out. I was out, and I'd be like on the other side of the neighborhood. Get on my bike. I gotta hurry up. I'm playing in like fallen tree limbs and like all that stuff.
Same.
Like,
Same. I was the same way. I was on my bike, and it's sad because now it's a little unsafe. But that's why we partner with organizations like the Boys and Girls Club, which allows for a safe environment for kids to be exploratory, but in a space that's safe. And so Play Pits has just been it's been beautiful to be a part of the team, as well as my other clients. I have a lot of mompreneurs. Chantel is a mompreneur, but we also have Mom Redefined, which is all about giving moms their moments. So Rika B, who's the owner and founder of that organization, she has moments in her city in Raleigh, but she also does Momin' in Paradise, where twice a year she takes moms to beautiful places in paradise like Cabo and DR, and it's an opportunity for them to kick back, but also be poured into from a business perspective. So we do panel discussions and we have vendors, but then we go out and we have a nice catamaran and an all-white party, but really helping moms to realize that they can do it all when they put things into perspective and take some time for themselves. And so I mean, the list goes on and on in terms of the clients that I'm working on. I just signed on some new clients, so make sure you guys follow Black Ivy League to see some of those new clients that we're going to be announcing really soon.
Have you heard of the Necessities Co. as well?
Say that one more time.
The Necessities Company.
No, what
I
is
heard
that?
about them because that's actually where I learned about Play Pits.
Okay.
So they're a storefront that offers they're like the Village Market.
Okay.
But they're in Charlotte. North Carolina.
Oh my God. Okay.
I think it's 2 young ladies. I was DMing them a couple weeks ago. Shout out to you. That's how I found out. That's how I found Play Pits. So I thought Play Pits was based in Charlotte because I saw them on their website.
Okay.
So yeah, talk to.
So you got to connect me because
talk to your
Rika,
sis because I'm sure she knows them because she's in the store. So they might know each other. I don't know.
Well, let me know because we have a whole tribe of people that we work with in Raleigh. So
dope.
Yeah, like a lot of women
and I've
that
been
we work
meaning
with.
to go up there.
Yeah.
I couldn't make the drive. I was trying to find someone to make the drive with me, but they had like a little pop-up thing, and I was trying to go up there and meet them and like meet the folks. They have like a lot of the brands I work with too. They have True Laundry, I think, is up in there. Play Pits, a couple of like cleaning brands and stuff like that. So like it's real dope. I'll show you the
Please
website
do.
later.
Yeah, gotta see it.
Shout out to Necessities Company, Necessities Co. based in Charlotte. I mean that was a laundry list of black businesses.
Yep.
Like a great way to tie this in a knot and a pretty bow. Like this is what we do. This is what we do. This is about our people. This is about our product, right? And we teach that and we show that through our palette and Ivy League and all these other brands. Like this is who we are. This is what we do. But
well, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I appreciate you mentioning North Carolina. Actually, got to get on the road now to go to Asheville.
Yeah.
But it's been such an honor, a blessing. I'm so glad that I met you. I'm so glad to be in this presence with you, and I just look forward to the things that will come out of our new friendship that we have, and collaborating on so many different efforts. So, thank you all for viewing today.
Before we go,
yes.
We got to say good morning to everybody.
Okay. All right.
We're going to do it. I'm going to count down from 3.
Okay.
You ready?
All right.
3, 2, 1. Good morning. Love it, love it, love it, love it.